Planet Vero Studios, brought to you by Evergreen Media, creating cohesive marketing campaigns. Evergreen Media in Vero Beach.
Welcome to another episode or another session of the Released to Shine podcast. And with me in studio today is a good friend. I am happy to be chatting with her. And she is Ellen Contreras. She's the owner of the Treasure Coast Connector. And this is a limited liability company. Ellen helps businesses create awareness of their products and services with a goal to increase sales. Prior to this venture, she worked as a business development manager in the staffing and recruiting industry and assisted with job searching and guidance on career path. Welcome, Ellen. It's great to have you here.
Oh, thank you so much, Megan. I'm really happy to be here too. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Ellen, our first question today is, our focus from the Release to Shine podcast is on individuals whose services were terminated after many years in the workforce, or individuals who are released from a correctional facility. Share 3 strategies that these 2 groups of people can use to prepare themselves for a new career path.
Absolutely. So the first thing is when someone is released from their job and they've been there for 10, 20, 30 years, it is a shock. They're upset. They're devastated. Why me? What's wrong with me? What I really tell people to do is just stop and just take a breath. And you know, when we're watching a Netflix movie and we have to get up and get something from the kitchen, you put it on pause for a moment. Put everything on pause and assess how you're feeling. Acknowledge how you're feeling. Feel all the feels, as they say, right? And don't continue on with a pity party. And the same thing for someone who made a mistake and they served their time, right? And now they're re-entering society and they're feeling like overwhelmed. Take a pause, take a breath, okay? And then think about what you want your life to be like. Some people, after being in one type of a job for a long time, may have a desire to do something else. So think about what it is that you want your day-to-day life to be like. Some people are night owls, so maybe they want to work in the evenings and have their daytime free. Maybe some people do like the structure of Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, have their weekends off. So really think about what it is that you want your life to be and look like and feel like. And then think about your skill set. The hard skills, the soft skills, and things that are transferable, okay? So what your situation was like in your previous job, if you want to continue on, then of course you're going to look for that role that is very familiar to you within another company. Or you can say, gosh, I've always wanted to do this and have a career change. There might be a lot of transferable skills that you haven't thought of that you can then use to make that shift.
Absolutely.
Somebody that was in, prison might have started learning a skill, or they might have had a job, and then they can take those skills and move on into the world and put themselves out there looking for work.
Thank you, Ellen. Thank you. Kindly share resources that are available here on the Treasure Coast to assist these 2 groups of people.
Yes. Okay. So now I'm going to look at my notes because I don't want to forget certain names. So we're here on the Treasure Coast, but I am mindful, and you're going to talk about that in another question, that this podcast And this show, it reaches far and wide. It reaches all over the world, for goodness sakes. I keep looking at my camera. Forget about that because I'm not used to sitting in this chair. So, I'm sorry? I know we're live. Hi, everybody. Do you know that we have 4,682 viewers right now? Jesse just held up a sign for me. So, but all kidding aside, when people are starting on their job search, I always say that it's a multifaceted approach, that there are employment agencies out there, that there are job boards out there, and that there are organizations to help. Okay. So now here on the Treasure Coast, I'm going to name specific names, but they can Google for the contact information.
Absolutely.
Okay. So LF Staffing, HR Dynamics, Spherion, Express Employment Professionals, for day labor, okay, GL Staffing, Labor Finders, Labor Ready, Action Labor. I am very familiar with these organizations. I know people that work at a lot of these organizations, so I recommend. And I also want people to understand that if you are looking for a job and somebody says, well, it's going to cost you money, then you run away. That is not a good agency to work with, because it is the employers that pay the fee.
Absolutely.
Okay. And also, I also forgot another one, and they're a client of mine. Oh my, that's why I have my notes, BC Staffing. And I'll give that website, B as in Bravo, C as in Charlie, staffing.co. Okay. They're a relatively new player in the community in St. Lucie West. Now, I want to also say that Career Source Research Coast.
Absolutely.
This is an organization that when I first moved to Florida, I dealt with, and they were very, very helpful to get the lay of the land here in this area. And they help with resume writing and interview practicing, and they help you find a job, and career coaches. If you feel stuck, they're amazing.
Yes.
And this is also good for people that have been in a career for so long and they're not used to interviewing. They haven't done a resume in 20 years. And also for people that are re-entering from, being at a correctional facility, they also are very, very helpful. So that is what I recommend, is a multifaceted approach.
Thanks, Ellen. And I want to just add to Career Source information. Because for those individuals who were incarcerated, you want to find a career source, career research course, career center in your local community. They are also veteran friendly. So if you were a veteran, even if you were incarcerated, don't worry about it. Find Career Source. Okay?
Very good. And one other thing I forgot about is remote work is very, very popular. There's a lot of legitimate companies that offer that. This is actually very beneficial for someone with a background that maybe is afraid that they can't get traditional employment. They can work from their home. And as long as you have a good computer and good internet connection, I'll just throw out one out there, and it's tutoring, but you don't have to be a teacher. If you are a native English speaker, Cambly.com, CAMBLY.com, you just they have lesson plans that you follow along, and you have conversations with people all over the world, and it is really fun. And it's about $11 an hour. But if you think about it this way, you're not driving anywhere. You're not spending money on fancy clothes, wear and tear in your car, food that you have to pack or buy when you're out there. Oh my gosh, working from home, customer service, excellent opportunities.
Okay. Thank you for that, Ellen. No, there is something that can prevent a job seeker's resume from being seen by the organization. And this is called the Applicant Tracking System, or ATS system. Many job seekers are unaware of this tracking system. Can you explain what this is and how it affects the submission of a resume for a specific position?
Yes, absolutely. So first, what happens is when you see a job online, or if you walk into a business and you want to fill out an application, sometimes they say, here's the website. You have to do it through our ATS or applicant tracking system. And they will upload a resume. And a lot of people will use the same resume for this system as they do when they're going in to have an interview. And what I mean by that is they will have specialty fonts, perhaps a picture of themselves, which I don't actually agree with. They will have bullet points and, just cool. It just looks really cool to look at. But the ATS gets messed up and confused. That can actually put you out of the running. Mm-hmm. But it's actually scouring through and trolling through your resume for keywords that match the job description. Mm-hmm. And then what happens is that if your skills are a good match, you end up higher in the search ranking. Mm-hmm. And that's what you want to do. So my advice is to have just a general resume without all the bells and whistles that make it look beautiful, no bullet points, graphics, lines, or whatever. And look at the job description and look at your resume. You may have described your skills in a different way. If you use the same keywords, that is going to help. Do not fib. If you do not possess a skill that's in that job description, do not write about it on your resume. But if you have it, make sure that you describe it the way that they have it in their job description. It helps you rise up through the ranks.
Absolutely.
A lot better.
Absolutely. And this is why a lot of job seekers their resumes have not even reached the desk of the recruiter because of the applicant tracking system. You can't put on your resume what you think should be there. You've got to put on that resume what the job description is asking for.
Absolutely.
And in my book, I have some information about that applicant tracking system. All right. So you will get my book as well. What are some benefits that the state of Florida offers to employers who employ job seekers with a felony record?
So this is a bit of, and I was going to say this before we started taping, is when I was in staffing and recruiting, I was working with the business owners. Mm-hmm. So I was not as aware of these programs, but they exist.
Yes.
So I did some Google searching. And when you put in the Google search, you can put jobs for felons near me. When I put jobs and I was trying to type different words, it populates other search terms, but I clicked on jobs for felons near me. And here in Florida, helpforfelons.org. I think that's a really wonderful site to go to. Life Builders of the Treasure Coast is another organization that helps people with a record. Lifebuilderstc.com, reentryprograms.com, Stewart-reversethedoor.org. They're down in Martin County. I was trying to think of organizations that help the entire Treasure Coast. I was really impressed with Stewart-reversethedoor.org. And you can also go to, for people that have been recently released, they can actually go back to the Department of Corrections, for example, dc.state.fl.us. You can scroll down and go to the Office of Programs and Reentry.
Wonderful.
You can speak to your parole officer. St. Lucie County Sheriff Ken Mascara would love to see people leave and have a good life. Yeah. He doesn't want to see them back. Where he wants to see them at the coffee shop, where they can say, hey, thanks for this help because now I'm doing this. And they're not back again. And that's what we want to see.
Yes. We don't want the reoffending at all.
Exactly. And give people hope because, yes, people make mistakes. And but if they do the time and work on themselves, they can have a beautiful life after.
All right. Thank you, Ellen. And there's something that I'll have to add to that, because Career Source Research Coast is felony friendly. So you have a felony background, kindly visit Career Source Research Coast if you're on the Treasure Coast. If you are in any other part of Florida, look for the Career Source office in that local area where you are. And let me tell you something. You can get employed with an employer who is willing to do a bonding. It's called a federal bonding, and this is paid for by the state. So the employer will get an incentive for the first 6 months of that individual's employment, and that can be renewed. The Department of Economic Opportunity, I want you to go to their website and look for federal bonding. Both employers and job seekers with felony records, just go to the Department of Economic Opportunities website, and Career Source will speak with you some more about that. All right?
Yeah, that's wonderful. And I did want to add that when I was dealing with employers in St. Lucie County, some of them actually had like a matrix for people that have a background. And first, if you do have a background, don't lie about it. Be very open and honest about it. And then that goes a long way, because once you lie, it's actually game over. There was a plastic pipe manufacturing company in St. Lucie. It has a new owner, so I don't know if they've carried the same tradition, but the then office manager brought out a book, and she had a matrix for what they would and wouldn't accept in terms of a background. So people should not be afraid. They shouldn't think that there's no hope for me. There definitely is hope. Definitely. There are definitely employers that will hire people with backgrounds.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because there are benefits to hiring individuals who have made mistakes in the past and want to change their lifestyle. So there is no fear or shame. One thing I'm going to encourage you to do, though, don't get into the details of the crime. Please don't do that. In a job interview, I made a mistake, and this is what I've done with my life since. Nobody wants to hear about the crime. We want to hear about the progress you have made in your journey since you made that mistake. So please don't go into a job interview and blurt out what it is that you did. It's not necessary. All right? These two groups of individual, Ellen, they have lost confidence in themselves, and they're fearful of the rejection they anticipate will happen when they apply for jobs. What encouragement do you have for them? So these are the individuals who feel that ageism has kicked them out of the workforce. And then we have the individuals with felony records. Words of encouragement from you.
Yeah, absolutely. So the first thing is that understand that you as a human being are special. That you have value.
Yes. That
we were all put on this earth for a purpose. We have our own unique gifts and talents to offer the world. For the people that have lost their job after decades for whatever reason, ageism, if it's a recession, whatever it is, that your worth is not tied to that job. At all. You are not the job. And then for someone that has a record, okay, so you have, everybody has mental chains on them at certain times in their life for whatever reason. So that person that has a record, just break those ties, break that bond that keeps you to, I made a mistake in the past. Just get over that and then move forward. Because as you put one foot in front of the other, you are proving to others that you're not going to go back in that wrong direction. And so what I would like to say is to reset your mind,
Yes.
okay, and rephrase. So like, okay, here's a good thing. Again, I'm referring to my notes because there's a couple of things I don't want to forget to mention. When we're at a networking event, let's say, or you could be at a concert and you're meeting new people, or you could be at somebody's backyard barbecue meeting new people, and you get to know each other. Oh, where are you from? But when the question of what do you do comes up, and you're looking for a job, sometimes people just they feel defeated. Okay, here's what you can answer, and I have certain specifics. So let's say that you were an office manager and you were let go. You don't say that. You say that I keep the office running smoothly. Everybody's on track and on task, and I just get things going and moving. And by the way, I'm actually looking for another opportunity.
Absolutely.
I'm looking for the next best thing.
Yes.
And let's say you've come out of prison, but you're looking for a job, but you were working, let's say, in the kitchen. You can say that I make people happy through food. Food is my love language. I'm a really good cook.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, I'm looking for another opportunity. I'm looking for whatever. And you say that. What happens is people love to help other people.
Yes.
And you never know where you're at and who you're talking to. Somebody may say, oh, I know of that restaurant, or I know somebody that might be looking. And then they can connect you, especially at networking events. So you don't walk in feeling defeated like that. If you're a marketing person, like what I tell people, I have my own company, and I tell people that I create awareness of the existence of a company's products and services. I help create sales. That's very exciting to say. So if you're a marketer and you're looking for another job, that's how you word things.
Yes.
Of how you actually help people. I never say to somebody, oh, I make websites, or, oh, I design brochures. That's so boring. Isn't that, Megan? Isn't that?
Quite so.
Yeah. So it's how you put a spin on it.
Yes.
And that's why I'm so happy that you have me on this show today, is because, people need that hope. We're all special and we're all worthy.
Yes.
That's what I have to say.
And Ellen, quite a mouthful, Ellen.
Yeah, I know.
Anyhow, we've come to the end of our interview. So, Ellen, I'm going to ask you to share how your business as the Treasure Coast Connector can assist our job seekers.
Absolutely. Now, we didn't have a lot of time, but there's so much more information that obviously I could have given. And while the career counseling, it's not the forefront of my service, but I want people to know that I do offer that. Okay. And so normally what I charge is $150 an hour, because there's a lot of detail to work with a person. But for people that are listening to your show, I have an offer, $75 an hour. However, what I tell people is it usually only takes 2 to 4 hours to get someone on that right track. I'm assessing their social media. I'm assessing their LinkedIn profile. I'm helping them with interviews. I'm helping them with their career path, how to get in their head what they need to get out, to get other people excited to want to hire you. That I love doing that. Actually, I do. And so I'd like to offer that, because what I can do is send some questions beforehand, before I meet with someone, to get them very focused on what our meeting is going to be, so that we're not all over the place. And I just laser focus, and then get you to a point where you're looking good on paper, you're looking good online, and you feel confident in how you're going to come across in interviews. And job search techniques that I didn't get to talk to on this show. I got a lot of great ideas, and I share it all with everybody that I talk to.
Thanks, Ellen. We've come to the end of our program for today. I'm your host, Megan Wade, and remember, believe in yourself. You were released from that job or that correctional facility to shine. Thank you.